Tom Macdonald had her farm. Let's go. America, America, not America, America. Let's go.
Lately, USA is getting scarier. Half of the Americans I see all hate America. They hate the cops doing their best to take care of us and kneel for the flag and salt the soldiers that we're burying. I'm tired of the pissing and complaining why you living in America if all you do is hate it. You think it's brave to take a stand against the nation? Real bravery is dying for the right so you can say, Dear America, what happened to Americans? Apparently no one's aware or cares that it's embarrassing, it's arrogance. Our greatest enemy was always slavery and terrorists, and now it's people in the country trying to burn the heritage. I can't help it, I just seem to see the world different. It ain't Republicans or liberals, it's mental illness. The internet is only interested in left opinions. Cancel culture's got more power lately than the First Amendment. If you don't like it, leave. We will not defund police. We don't want no riots in our neighborhoods or in the streets. We respect freedom of speech. We protect what we believe. We don't want nobody dead, so please do not tread on me. In America, if we remain free in America, that's soldiers dying overseas, so America, you say what we believe, my America, I won't ever take a knee. Our freedom is the reason you can disrespect our flag. If my stars and stripes offend you, then I'll help you back your bags.
I find this to be interesting. I think I just find this to be interesting. Like it's I don't know, because I always think Tom is like. I find him that sometimes it put out opinions that don't necessarily like match his opinion, but more so reflect the opinions of others. So I'm curious to see where this song is gonna go next. So I'm gonna wait to give my opinion.
America, does anybody know what the hell happened to the Patriots? Lately this nation is so ashamed and hating itself. Did everyone forget that people died to pay for this ungratefulness? United States gave everything to you just to help. I just want to celebrate Thanksgiving with my family. I don't need your help to understand it was a tragedy. Can I just be thankful for my country eating happily without you trying to guilt me for the genocide and casualties? I can't help it, I just seem to see the world different. It ain't black or white, it's conflict designed by the system. I don't need your pronouns, all I see is men and women. Kids are taking pills for fun while people can't afford prescriptions. If you don't like it, go. Hate it, then don't call it home. We don't need no violence, got no time for all you radicals. Screw your status quo, we're not animals. I won't kneel for the anthem, cause the flag is what I'm standing for. In America, if we remain free in America, that's soldiers dying overseas, so America, you say what we believe, my America, I won't ever take a knee. Our freedom is the reason you can disrespect our flag. If my stars and stripes offend you, then I'll help you back your bags. America, you can hate the government and still love the country. The fundamental values of America are concrete. Republicans and liberals are dumb, to put it bluntly. They're labels that they use to create chaos and corruption. You can know the history and still be
See, this is what I said. I felt like the whole song was a setup for this part, and I knew this was gonna come. I was like, I'm waiting. That part.
that they use to create chaos and corruption. You can know the history and still be proud of where you're from. Every flag around the world is covered in a little blood. We started out United States, divided is what we've become. If home is where the heart is, you should show America some love. In America, if we remain free in America, that's all just die.
I guess my juxtaposition to this is it's like it's almost counterproductive and hypocritical for people to say that other people who have opinions hate America, like against your opinion. Just like he said, it was like, bro, you can be against the government. Well, you can be against racism and still not hate America. We could sit here and complain about systematic racism, and that doesn't mean we hate America. We're just trying to make it better. Like, I don't understand. I find it, as an African American person, like, to be absurd. To say the least. Like, it's absurdity at its finest when people say, like, I don't know. Okay, I don't even want to get into it. I just find this to be, not this song. I just find some of these opinions to be, like, kind of ridiculous. Like, so because you kneel, you hate America? Like, I'm wild. Like, that doesn't mean that's not what it's about. But I know that he knows that. He's just making a song, and I get the point of this song. And I think Yeah, I don't. So just because we want you to be aware of the history, and the problem is, it's a lack of acceptance and acknowledgement of the things that you've done. If you would just acknowledge the fact that systematic racism is a real thing, acknowledge the fact. Like, here's how I explain it. Right, I explain it like this. Okay, in America, right, for years in America, it was like we were playing a basketball game, right. And it was like, okay, all the white people were on one team, right? And all the minority people were on another team. And it was almost like the hoop for the white people was lowered. Like, like for like hundreds of years, his hoop was lowered. And then finally in 1964, or whatever year the Civil Rights Bill passed, it was like, all right, so we're gonna raise the hoop up again. Well, you guys have been running the score up. You've been running the score up for like hundreds of years, and then you want to say everything's equal. No, bro. Like, we're so freaking behind the ball. And it's not to blame the other person, because there's so many other issues besides systematic racism. Like, we have to fix things in our own community. We have to educate ourselves, not just in the traditional sense of school, but education as far as knowledge about, like, starting businesses and credit, and then, you know, starting things and fixing our homes when it comes to two-parent house. There's so many issues, right? But I'm not sitting here and say it's all white people's fault. Like, it's all that. And even if you're 4 generations down, you're still the benefactory in certain cases of things that have happened years and years before. And me as a black person, well, I'm over it. I just realize you're not going to acknowledge it. Like, you're just not. You're not going to acknowledge the truth. That's just facts. And by you, I'm not saying all white people. I'm just saying you, these particular people, right, are not going to acknowledge the truth. So I don't even care anymore. Like, I'm just working on, for me, it's about bettering myself, bettering my community as a whole, what it is I can do. But I think a lot of people want acknowledgement that it actually has taken place. Like, black people have never received an apology for slavery. But we will apologize, and not to say it was not a tragedy for what happened in Armenia and all types of stuff. But, like, America would not be America. This America you love was built on the backs of my freaking people. Like, if you guys did not have free labor, like, imagine now, you're like, all right, we're going to start a business, guys. We're going to start a business. We're not going to pay any of the workers to do this. Where would America be? Where would all of our industries be now if it was not for black people working for free to establish America? We built the freaking White House, big dog. Like, none of this would be, we would not be here today if it not were for slavery. And you want us to never forget 9/11. Not to say it was not a tragedy, but you want us to forget slavery. Oh wait, that's not happening. Like, so come off that. And you want to say America's divided. Now, we've always been divided. It's just that people are finally woken up and seen how divided we are. We've always, this make America great again. When was America great? During slavery, during civil rights, during Jim Crow, during the mass incarceration of black people. It was great for white people, but it was not great for us. So this whole theory that you have and make America great again, no, it wasn't. It was not. There was always a two standard. Even when black people were able to walk into the grocery store, we stick out like a sore thumb everywhere we go. We're reminded that we're black every single day. Where do you go? Now all of a sudden white people are reminded that they're white. But where were you going before to where you even had to acknowledge the fact that you were white? Like, oh, wait. So this whole theory that us as minority people wanting to make change in society is anti-American. No, in fact, it's like you guys want to say, oh, America was about diversity. No, America was about white people being diverse. Like, literally, other people in the beginning of America tried to come over, and you guys, off top, started treating them like trash. So this whole concept about this America that you know, no, this was a utopia that white people were living in for years. And finally, we said, no, we're not standing up for it. No, we're not going to take that. Yes, you're going to have to acknowledge it. You want to eat Thanksgiving without, like, no, you can't. You can't. Get over it. You cannot sit here and eat Thanksgiving without realizing that you guys were the vultures and savages instead of calling Indian and Native American people. You guys have been, we are the buttheads, bro. There's a reason why people hate America. And I don't hate America, but there's a reason why people around the world hate America. World War II. Who was the only people to drop nukes? Us! Like, we're the only people. Yeah, we all around around the world, but like, you can't have a nuclear bomb. You can't have one. You can't have one. We're the only people who's literally incinerated full freaking cities. That is us. And I still wouldn't live in anywhere else in the world but America. But us not acknowledging the fact that these things are real makes it more of a problem. Acknowledge it and be the change you wish to see. If you're not a racist, then start to go out of your way to be a part of programs, vote a certain way, so that these things can end and not be an issue. Just because I personally don't say defund the police. I personally say reorganize the police. Like every other business, every other major industry, right, has specialties and specialize. Like in the military, and I can speak on my own personal experience. There specializes in positions, right? We don't send administration people out to go search and rescue, right? You have to be trained in each positions. But in America, in most police, there's only like 2 or 3 special. There's a detective, there's a regular cop, and then there's a SWAT. And we send them out for everything. Why is there not its own sector within the police? Okay, these are mental health people. These are people who respond to domestic violence. These are people who respond to this and that. Why is there no specialty? We're sending everybody out with a gun in the same freaking pickup to the same situation. But every situation is different. That's illogical. No other industry does that. That's freaking illogical. No other industry allows you to make a mistake and then you not have to pay or repercussions for that mistake. If you work at a business, right, and you decide and you mess up a freaking contract that's $1 million, you're getting fired. You're getting fired. Hell, you might even get sued. Doesn't matter that you worked for a company at all. You're not protected. You're a human being. As a police officer, if you shoot an unarmed person running away, you should be fired. Not only that, beyond being fired, you should be arrested and you should be put on trial because you're a human being. And not only that, you should be held to a higher level because you would actually receive training of what to do and what not to do. Like, how is that? Why is this such a far-fetched freaking idea for people to understand? Like, no, you're not a superhero because you have a badge. You're a human being. You cannot make certain errors. If you're a plane and you crash, every 10 flights, you crash twice, you're not going to be a pilot. You're not going to be a pilot. Like, what? That's illogical. We don't be like, okay, if you're a brain surgeon, you're not allowed to mess up freaking brain surgery, are you? No, you get fired. Not only that, you get sued for malpractice. Certain professions, the rate has to be 100% success. That's what policing is supposed to be. You should be there, 100% success. No mess ups, bro. We don't, when we send SEAL team whatever out, we don't be like, oh, oops. No, you don't. We expect perfection. That is what it is. Do not sign up for the job if you're not willing to do that. Like, I don't want to hear I'm afraid again. Like, that's not, I'm afraid. Why are you a police officer if you're afraid? Why? Like, why did you sign up? You knew what you're signing up. That's like signing up to be a freaking Marine and being like, oh, I was afraid to go to war. You knew you were going to war. Like, what? And not only that, like, people really don't understand when it comes to the military, you choose your positions to a certain extent. You have to go through several different levels of training. Like, there's ways that you could get into another field within the military. Like, that part. You're signing up for it. 100%. And I'm not talking about like 18-year-olds, even though they're signing up for it, they don't really know what it fully encompasses. I'm not talking about that. This is just wild to me, this concept that people are anti-American. I think if anything, we're even more American because we actually believe in what the Constitution says, which is that all men, and needed to add women, are created equally. So if we're all created equally, then why is it that we constantly feel like we're not? And we've been screaming this at the top of our lungs for how many years? Why is it that it's a problem? Because now we're forcing people to acknowledge the mistakes that they made. And even if you personally didn't make a mistake, you're benefiting from that mistake. Are you not? I'll wait. But I love Tom's songs because this is what it makes me do. And I just went on a whole rant. Let's back it up and let's finish the song.
America,
okay, so the other thing that I'll add, right? What I'll add is I do agree that, you know, the media like pushes a certain agenda. What people don't understand is that these media, it's a business. It is a business. Like, I think we need to stop holding these. We need to stop expecting that the news, right, the news that they show on TV is going to be 100% like well balanced news. It's not. It's a business. These news media companies are owned by their entities, right? And so just like any other station, whether it's ABC, when they have a show called Scandal, they're trying to get a certain amount of ratings, because ratings are when you get a certain amount of views, what happens is your revenue, right? And so it just like TV, radio, it's all set up the same way. It's they make their profit off of advertising, off of sponsorships. How many sponsorship spots, how much are they willing to pay at a certain time? That's it. And it's the same thing for the news. And what are the sponsorships going to be? What are the viewership going to be? So they're trying to hike up views. So just like on YouTube, right? Even Tom does this. He just does it and puts out actual, you know, substantive work, right? You put certain titles that you know people are going to click on. This is a business, people. It's a business. So, like, stop expecting that when you turn on the news that you're going to get 100% well-balanced news. Not saying that it's all fake, because I don't believe that it's all fake. It's just that they're putting certain stories out, right, that they know that people are going to have a high interest value in, and it's going to have a high retention rate. So then they could turn around and go to their sponsors, and they could sell $1 million ad spot in the middle of the show. That's all it is. It's just a business. It's literally just a business. So I think for years, because of the way that we got our news before television was like through newspaper, and a lot of it was word of mouth, it had a factual, like, you know, element to it, and it still does have a factual element to it. But even back then in newspapers, what made the cover of the newspaper? Was it the full side of everything? No, it was what was going to get you to buy that newspaper over the other newspaper. This has been going on for years. So this expectation needs to stop. Stop expecting that. If you want to get the full story of news, do your own research. Research them all. Check out multiple platforms. You know, conduct investigations yourself. Like, that's how you're going to get the full scope of what is going on. That part. And it's just interesting. But I did like this song. I definitely like this song. I didn't mean for this reaction to be 20 minutes long, but it is. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Hit the like button, sub button, bell button. Bye.